China is looking for a please explain on student caps, with moves afoot to limit the number of students who can study in Australian universities. Joining us live now, the Assistant Defence Minister Matt Thistlethwaite. Matt, good morning. Good to see you, as always. So we do need those students, but how much do we push back here?
Good morning, Pete. Well, this particular policy is not aimed at any one particular country. It's aimed at ensuring that we have sustainable housing in Australia. And we can take
China will lose out the most, though, right?
Our housing market. As I said, it's not particular to any country. In fact, if you're a student coming from overseas, a parent of a student coming from overseas, you want to know that your kid can get housing. And that's what this policy is aimed at. Now, there are caps that are put in place. A university can go above those caps if they can demonstrate that they are building additional housing to ensure that there's a roof over the head of additional students. So it's a pretty sensible policy. It's bipartisan and it's aimed at ensuring we have a sustainable housing market.
So is that what you'll be saying, or your government will be saying to Lee Chang when he gets here?
Well, as I said, we'll be saying that the policy is not aimed at any particular one country. It's about ensuring that students that come from China, that come from other parts of Asia and India and all over the world have housing and that they're safe and that they can live in the communities that they're going to be studying in. And that's what the policy is aimed at. Yeah,
OK. So the universities here, they've already said that they don't like this policy for obvious reasons. Now there's a report this morning claiming 150 vocational colleges could close over the next 2 years. Now, as you mentioned there, it does have bipartisan support, but has the plan been properly thought through when you're talking about these kinds of potential closures?
The plan's been well thought through. We've consulted with the industry. It comes as a result of some recommendations through the Universities Accord to make international students sustainable into the future. And we've seen in the past, Pete, a number of private colleges that have established themselves, that have taken student enrolments, particularly international students, and then gone bust because their models weren't sustainable. And they leave those students, many of them internationals, in the lurch. And we don't want to see that continue into the future. We want to make sure that the international student sector is sustainable and that everyone that starts a course can finish it and get an education.
OK, Matt, we've got an important documentary on the rise of anti-Semitism in Australia. It's going to air this week. Now, the Greens are going to attempt to pressure you this week by moving a motion in Parliament for Australia to recognise Palestine. Are you going to support it?
Well, we've been very clear since October 7th. Sorry, we ensure that we've condemned Hamas's actions. We've called for the release of hostages. We said that there should be a ceasefire, and we want a sustainable two-state solution. And that's something that has been in the Australian Labor Party platform for many, many years. We see that as the solution to sustainable peace in the Middle East.
Are you going to support this motion?
Well, we're not going to put a date on it. We're not going to say that it needs to be immediate, but we are saying that it is the policy of the Labor Party to support two states behind secure borders in the region as a means to lasting peace.
What are you going to do with it?
Well, we haven't seen it yet, so we can't say. We tend not to take foreign policy advice from the Greens.
Sure, yeah, but that's what it says. It wants to move a motion for Australia to recognise Palestine. That's it.
Well, I can't speculate on what the wording in the motion is going to be, Pete. I haven't seen it yet. But as I said, we don't take our foreign policy advice from the Greens. We act on what is in Australia's best interests. And the Labor Party's had a very clear position on this for a long time now.
Matt, we'll leave it there. Appreciate that. We'll talk to you soon.